Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Mike Gilcreast on the Mike Gilcreast Show. Glad everyone's participating with us today. Happy Sunday to everyone. Hope you had a great day, great weekend, and the best, or everything you asked for, it was granted to you. I know I am. I'm having a fantastic day. I'm meeting all kinds of folks and have a special guest on today. I'm just having fun. You know, I did do the church thing today, and as I do every Sunday, you know, I was telling someone that it doesn't feel like it, but just last Sunday, I was in the Philippines preaching over there. I'm international speaker and pastor, so I'm all over the place, and I'm just enjoying life. But it just seems so incredible. I'm like, who would have thought? Just, you know, within a day, you know, or 15 hours in the air, you're in Seoul, Korea. So I'm like, it's crazy on how you could get around, how mobile everything is. But we are here celebrating, you know, you all with us on the Mike Gilcreast Show. And like I said, we have special guests. You know, we have Keith Shakim Anderson, and we don't call him, you know, Shakim, you know, for short. So some people, you know, do last names and middle names and nicknames. And like, I like Mike, even though it says Michael, it's the Mike Gilcreast Show. I like Mike. And you know, and everybody wants to be like Mike. And at some point, I used to want to be like Mike, too. So, you know, so Michael Jordan. And actually, on the basketball court, I used to be called that, you know, but, you know, the days are past, you know, behind me. So they said those that can't, you know, teach, you know, so I'm teaching now. And so give a shout out to my son today, and his birthday's today, Michael II. So, happy birthday to my son. And then have my nephew, his birthday today. And then my other daughter, you know, I have a pretend daughter, so her birthday today. So 3 people I know, all birthdays today. So it is what it is. So shout out, you know, to Ray, to Aaron, and Mike. And another shout out to my favorite sister-in-law, Linda. She's out there. Appreciate her. You know, that's my beautiful sister-in-law. And then I met 2 shout-outs I was supposed to give. I promised to give those out today. And one was Antonio. He's an entrepreneur, young fella I just met. And so we're hoping maybe we team up and do something in the future. And then Tika, a beautiful young lady I met in doing my errands before I got here. And I always give the shout-outs because I appreciate people and go from there. But just so you know, Shakim, Brian just wish you, you know, he's proud of you, you know, just so you know. I know you know Brian. But we have Shakim, and you should be able to see him as well. And he has a fantastic book out there. And so, you know, I want to put it up here for you. And so you got to check this book out. I just finished reading, and the reason I mentioned career and Philippines, while I was on the airplane, I actually read the book and I finished it. And so I'm like, I called him up. I said, dude, I want to talk to you about your book. And his book's real. You can see it up there as well. Take a picture of it. It's out on Amazon, so it's easy to find. The title, I mean, is compelling and easy to look up, you know. So AWOL from Society. This book is down to earth. I mean, if he wanted to, this book could have been 800 pages, but he writes so well, condensed everything, so you're able to get it's a easy read. I mean, it's not, you know, it's going to indulge your time, but I think it'll change your life if you read it. And I chuckled so many times, and even, you know, held my breath a couple times as I read it. So I can't wait to get involved with it, you know. But there it is, you know. Check it out, take a picture of it, and see what happens from there. I'm sure you might read it, and I might have you on to talk if you want to talk about it, so forth, so on. But we want to get it out there as much as possible. If you don't have the book, go out and get it. It is a great read for real. I'm not just saying that. It's well written, well spoken, and I was elated, just to meet him. I met him at one of my book signings, and he's just all over the place and real. I mean, he's a real brother, and I appreciated that. So I'm like, I'm just excited all over the place. You got to get this book, all right? And so not just because I'm saying it, but I read it. I'm giving you my personal endorsement. Read it, because it will definitely change you. And I like life-changing books. My book as well. Where it touches your life in so many ways. And I tell people, I say, everyone has a story. We just don't write them down. And we go from there. So you have it up there, and now you see it. And he has his book in the background himself on his display as well. And so get it, and we have a whole lot to talk about today, and we'll try to get through this, and go from there. I'm on my show. I'm glad he accepted to be here, because he has an awesome book, and so it's nice when you do something and somebody else talks about it. That's really nice to do, or nice when you can get endorsements from people who take an interest in what you're doing. All right. And so we can go from there. All right. So with that being said, here's Keith, and I let him say hello to you, and then we get started on talking. All right. Well, I say Keith, but Shakim. Just give him a shout out, Shakim. They can hear you.
First and foremost, Mike, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to appear on this show. And I remember when I first met you and the things that you embracing on and embarking on. You told me one day you're going to give me a call. And you was a man of your word.
Amen.
And I want to say that was about a year and a half ago.
Right. Right.
When you did that book something. And here it is. And that's a blessing, because that's what we need. Just have your word.
Right. Right.
So all my friends and family that tuned in, I appreciate y'all for the support for me and Mike. And as well, I want y'all to subscribe to his channel and hit that like button. This is a real true brother.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. All right, all right. Just to get into the book, some questions I came up with, because impactful to me, and some of it remind me of who I used to be. Your book really, it seems like you was a parallel to my life in so many ways. I'm like, wow, this is crazy, but let's see what happens as we go forward. But my first question is, who or what inspired you to write this book? And I have it here, and I want y'all to see it. I have it as well. All right, but who inspired you to write this book?
Well, when I was out there doing crazy things, going back and forth to jail, and when I
Oh, I think we're having technical difficulties. Oh yeah, yeah, much better. Yeah, it got much better. But go ahead. Oh no, we can't hear you. Can you go out and come back in? I'll let you back in, because I think we're having technical difficulties. We see you clearer now than we did before, but people are saying they can't hear you. It's technical difficulties. We can't. Can you hear me? Yeah, we can't hear you. So log off and log back in, and please, everyone, just stand by until he logs back in. We can't hear you. I'll send you a new link. How about that? Please stand by. Please stand by. He logged out to log back in. I'll take my jacket off. Oh, there he is. All right, I see him. Let's bring you back on. All right, can you hear me now? Are you on mute? Can we hear you now? Can't hear you. Is your phone on mute? What happened? Somebody's calling him. Someone said, Turner or do not disturb on. All right, please stand by. Still technical difficulties. Look like Leandra knows what she's talking about. I guess people are texting him or something. I'm at 100%. All right. All right, come on now. All right. Let me text him and tell him to log back in. Kim. Standing by. Standing by. Oh, he's back on. Maybe try something different. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for
Okay.
your patience. We good now?
You got me?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, what?
Yeah, I had to do some disconnecting and all, but I'm back.
It happens. It
I'm
happens. I've been
back.
on. I've been on sometimes, and the program I'm using sometimes have difficulties, but it happens. But we, it's still not going to delay the real talk. But getting back to why why or what inspired you to write this book, you could expound on that now. I think the reception is a whole lot better.
Yeah, so when I was out there in them streets and I would get arrested and I would share about why I'm in here and things I was doing, and people used to say, "Man, that's a book. That's old. You need to put that in a book." And I started thinking about that. And when I was in rehab, my counselor was telling me, "Hey, you have a powerful voice. You need to be speaking and doing something with the gifts that you have." So I started writing that book about a sermon. That's when I wrote that book.
Right.
So that's what really inspired me to write.
Wow, wow, that's good stuff. I always find it amazing how people can look at you and tell you your story that you should write a book. And I think a lot of authors come about because I would have never wrote a book myself. But same thing, people told me I should write a book, and I didn't write none for over 10 years. And so I understand that wholeheartedly. Uh, tell me what influenced you to, because it's like you have a bridge out there, and matter of fact you're working on a bridge, but you have a bridge out there, nobody just jump off the bridge, right? And so what influenced this journey, because people do things and they're like, I don't know why I did it, I don't know what made me do whatever, right? But what inspired your downward journey? Because when you read the book, you see you didn't have an uphill, you had a downhill, and I'm like, well, but I want to, find out about that.
I know for me, it was the streets. Like my home, my parents, they never drank or drug or ran the streets.
Right,
And the life that they provided for me, I ain't like that life. That life was too corny for me.
right,
I want to be out there in the streets and around the old heads, as we call them. And it was perception versus reality. So what I was conceiving, what they were doing, I made it my reality.
right. Sometimes I think hindsight is 2020. You heard that before, right? And parents try to protect us, and I think the unknown of curiosity pushes us into different directions, and but let me ask you, and you talk about drugs and going to jail, this, that, and other, and back and forth the whole 9 yards, right? But have you ever overdosed? Because in your book, I'm trying to find it. Like heavy. Because you watch the TV cop shows and stuff, and people overdose, and then they get the Narcan, this, that, and other, right? But have you ever overdosed?
I can say yes and no on that. I remember I had so much coke in me, and I passed out. And the people that I was with, they didn't wait. They
Right,
said my eyes rolled back in my head, and I was foaming at my mouth.
right,
And I woke up the next morning. I was laying on my mother's couch.
wow,
I got there. My mom set me there and watched over me all night. But that sanity, so talk about insanity, is repeat the same thing over again, expecting a different result.
right,
I
right.
got up, I was back again.
Wow, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, but whatever you were eating, or or drinking, at the time, it seems like a lot of people can't say what you just said. A lot of people didn't come back from that place because back then they didn't have all that Narcan stuff. You had to get to the hospital, you
Hospital.
know. And yeah. So I thought that was pretty fascinating. And as I was reading your book, that stuck out in my mind for real. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, I wanted to know for myself, you know.
That,
Yeah.
you know, when I was writing, there's a lot of stuff that I still could have included, but I'm gonna say, for part two of my next
I
book.
got you. I got you. All right. I got you. Yeah, yeah. That's good stuff. All right. All right. All right. So now this other one is this other was kind of personal for me, right? It really is. And so I can I was telling you, I wrote put it in my book as well, Unworthy Chose Forgiven. But my hands, you see my hands, I was so good I could talk to you and steal right in front of you. I was that good. And so this when I read this next part of your book, chapter 3, and then I said, because I looked at it, I said, BCA, where in the world BCA? And I start reading it. What's BCA? What's BCA? And you know, how did you become a member of BCA?
I wasn't a member. I was the founder. I was the CEO.
All right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I wasn't the type of person to go robbing with guns.
Right,
Yeah, I would just use these. I
right,
would use this mental of mine, thinking I can just walk up in a Rite Aid pharmacy, put on one of their aprons, and walk
right.
around. I work there and just take what I want.
Wow, wow.
And I knew some other people that was doing the same thing that I was doing.
Right,
So I figured I'd come up with the bright idea, well, if we can collaborate together, we're gonna have a team. And that's when I came up with the BCA, which stands for Boosters Club of America.
I know.
When we got arrested, the charge sheet read retail theft. So boosting was just a slicker name and just putting shop.
Right, right, right.
Yes. So that's
Yeah.
how I came up with it.
Well, I enjoyed it. I'm telling you, I want to say I was a kleptomaniac. I mean, seriously, I was really good, and I could be in the store talking to people, explaining this and the, and my it'll be in my hands or my pocket, whatever, down my sleeve, or I could be talking to you and helping you find what you lost, and it's in my pocket.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And so that part really. It was funny to me because of what I used to do. And I'm sure other people, we got people listening to stuff, but everybody, at some point, done things that they're not so proud of, but you do it and you think about it and you learn from it. Now the benefit, we got to live long enough to talk about it. You got to explain it here. I just like how you brought it out, seriously. Instead of saying petty theft, whatever, because I got caught. I wasn't smart enough to go, when I was stealing, to go put on an apron. Now that's brilliant. That is outside the box, really. And so I'm not in that life now, and I'm not encouraging other people to go out and do that. No, by no means, don't go do that. All right, and I too was obsessed. Like you had the drug thing. I was obsessed with gambling, right? And so I could get paid Friday, and within an hour I'm broke, right? And uh, um, were you ever obsessed with drugs? Because the thing you do the most of, it could be an exception. And so were you obsessed with drugs?
I was obsessed with it. I loved it. That was the only thing that I knew. That was the only thing I wanted. I put drugs before a relationship, my family. When I got to the end of my road, it was all about the drugs,
Right,
nothing else.
right. Yeah, and nothing just drove you to it. Just the feeling itself, it had you, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was like a grip.
It was like a grip, but as time went on, like I sniffed the coke, and then we got the freebasing, and then crack
Right,
came. And it's like you take that first hit. That's the best high you gonna get. Anything after that, you just chase it.
right.
And so it was like an obsession, like I was just chasing and chasing and chasing. And I know my mom used to send my sister and tell her going down that block to see if that boy alive.
Wow.
And she said, yeah, he had one woman to beat like a cop. It just had you chasing and walking and just doing all types of crazy stuff.
Yeah. It's like I'm just asking. I mean, because I've been on the other side as well, but never to the point where you are. Uh, uh, um, is it like another person wakes up inside you, you know, to even be hooked or have that desire? I mean, I'm just asking because when I was gambling and doing this kind of thing, uh, I kind of lost myself, and so when you have a sickness, if you will, of something you're obsessed with, I gamble, so I understand it from a gambling point. I don't understand it from a drug point, and so is that like you like something like you lose yourself? I'm asking.
No, definitely. And any mind altering chemical will take you outside of yourself.
Okay.
For sure. Because that's what it is. Altering your mind, it alter your thought process. And it makes you become, or you look in the mirror, you Superman, but you're not.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here's another question that's probably near and dear because if you're like me, I was really close to my mom, and so you're not the first, and so and I try to be relaxing and show it this and another, but some of my questions are personal and down to earth. But I've always been an open person. I don't like the sugarcoat stuff. I keep it real because we're not the first. You're not the first. I'm not the first. Whatever. But some point, some of us or many of us have crossed these bridges, and I'm guilty as well, right? But have you? I stole money from my mom, right? But you were the Grinch at Christmas. What?
Christmas,
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
yeah. And
But
so
Christmas was the one.
yeah,
So they had already put me out the house. So it was Christmas Eve, and I always knew how to get in the house.
right.
Everybody was asleep, and I came up in there, and I went up underneath the Christmas tree, unwrapped all the gifts, took the gifts out, wrapped boxes back up,
Oh man. Okay. Yeah.
and I left. And
Wow.
my mom never did it.
Right.
She knew it was me. I just the thing, and even though I've been clean over 18 and a half years, or 19 years, and I've done the work on myself, you still think about that stuff, especially when it comes to mom.
Right.
Now, people in the street, but when it comes to mom, because she was the one who brought me in this world, and at the end of the day, when I had nobody to lean on, always that.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Well, I knew that would be a tough one, but that was a tough for me. I mean, I understand that wholeheartedly, seriously, because I was in situations. My mom was the only one, even though I was I was probably 12, 13 years old when I went in my mom's purse and stole money, da da da. But after that, I never took from my mom, but I always gave her more. If she wanted to borrow money, she didn't borrow. I just gave her to her and gave her extra. If I made money, I gave her money. But I think that made me draw closer to her because, like you said, it stays in your mind. And I'm like, I stole something from my mom. But is it weird how you never forget that? But I overcame it. I overcame it.
we can overcome some things. I know for me, that hurt from mom versus someone else, it's a
Right.
different type of pain.
Right. Right.
And even though I made up for it I just buried my mom maybe about 35 days ago.
Right.
But I was so grateful that I had turned my life around and she shared 18 and a half great years with me.
Amen.
She wasn't nothing, but I still think about it to this day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome, and touching as well, because I understand that too. I mean, my mom, I mean, she's gone, and but I miss her to this day, so I understand that. And even when I proposed the question, I wanted to ask the question because I want to be real, and I want people to feel it because I felt it, and just not you and I, just by us having a conversation, we probably helping somebody else, as well. And so I think that's pretty significant as well. And moving on, I have more questions, but were you ever in fear or scared, at times when you went in front of the judge? Because I mean, I've helped people in court cases. I'm a pastor as well, right? I've helped people with drugs and this, that, and another. And one guy, and I'm just digressing just a tad, but he was trying to feed his family, so I understood. And I'm his pastor as well. I knew the whole family, and he got busted, and he's looking at 5 years going to jail, and friend of mine too, so I got involved with the judge. He went from looking at 5 years to he actually got 6 months because I got involved. You see what I'm saying? And so it's amazing when you going before the judge, it's something totally different. But were you ever scared, when you went in front of the judge? Because you went in front of the judge, quite a few times. Yeah.
I was never afraid of the judge, the courts, the police, because when I ran.
Right,
So when the cops arrested me, they rescued me.
right. Yeah, I saw that. I saw
So
that.
when I got in front of the judge, I know how to run my mouth.
Right,
So I was never afraid of the courts, and even when they gave me time, what they did was save my life.
right,
Because every time I went to jail and into the state penitentiary, people that I was hanging with, that was close to me, they were still out there doing the same thing, but they were dying.
right,
So really, they protected me.
right. Out of all the people I known, I've never heard anyone say what you just said. Whereas the system saved you. You see what I'm saying? And saved your life, and that's just mind-boggling. Because we look at the systems being corrupted unjustly, in the whole 9 yards, right? And so if you ever been a part of it, you understand what I'm saying. But you said something totally opposite, and look where you are, and so I think that's pretty dynamic, just to bring that out. And that's that, when I saw it in the book, that it resonated with me, and the one time, or the one time for sure, I wasn't relaxed. I didn't know. I thought I was gonna get 20 years, man. It's also, but it's amazing. But I have more. We'll probably touch that down the line. Anyway, all right. Did you feel like you were invincible when you saw the judge, though?
I think I shared this with you on the phone in the beginning of last week.
Yeah,
I thought I was invincible.
yeah,
Because that committee up here, and when they filed a motion and I seconded them, it was like I was untouchable.
right,
I really thought that I was invincible. But that's how that drug has me thinking.
right.
You know what I mean? Because it's all in the thought process.
Okay. So that's that other personality. I think we all have something because we change hats for
We
things
change,
that we
we
do.
change hats,
Yeah,
and even when we're doing positive things in life, we wear different hats, we take on different roles out here in society.
right, right. Okay, we spoke of that. Now let's look at the other side of the same topic, if you will, right? And did you, in doing the stuff you're doing, you had that high where you felt like you were invincible, and a lot of our young people feel that way today, but that's not reality, you know. But did you also feel, like I said, the other side, like there was a guardian angel over you, and this is ironic to me, anyway. But yes.
I truly believe that. No, I did. I had three of them. And I had this picture right here. And that's a picture
Uh
of
huh.
my mother, my uncle, and my aunt Marie. Those
Right.
two sisters. And I remember earlier on, and when my drug addiction, my aunt, she came to visit my mother. And one thing about my mom was always overprotective to me.
Right.
She's doing good. So my aunt, she ran in the house, and I running back out, and my aunt, she came in. She said, I know you out there don't treat you some drugs. She said, I want to tell you something. Don't never forget this. She said, you're going to go so much, don't treat you. She's going to come up out of it. Very, very different.
All right. Yeah.
Going to get watched for. And at that time, I didn't understand it. And then it wasn't until you know, 8 years, I remember what my aunt said. She told me that I was going to go through it, I was going to come home myself.
Right.
So if I get my mom, my mom, because see, my family, they were Christian. So they believe in God and pray and all that, so that was their way of life. They like women.
Right. Yeah. That always helped. I mean, you could kind of tell, but I had a praying mom as well. I think my life would have been totally different without that. And probably for a lot of us, and how the tables could have went backwards. You could have easily got 50 years or 80 years or whatever, and just prayer, is amazing by itself. So yeah, that's pretty dynamic. So you look at yourself now and you say, 19 years, being clean, what have you. So do you feel you recovered? Not worried about relapse and so forth, so on, or do you think that recovery is still a process?
First and foremost, you never recover.
Okay.
Let me explain. In order to recover, you must uncover. That means the mask must come off, and you have to put it on. Then it goes through the process. Once you get to where I'm at, you don't cover, because if I say I'm recovered, and I'm going to stop doing the work, it got me where I'm at right now.
Right.
So it's like when you're on drugs, and you get off drugs, your actions become drugs. But
Okay.
when I think that I rise from there, I can find myself trying to live my mind. So the journey goes on, the process goes on. It's a continuous work, because when I really found out, I never had a problem with drugs. Drugs is just one symptom of my problem.
Right.
I had a mental problem.
Right.
Not knowing how to get my life for doing. And when I say I do it type way, and I feel comfortable, so I need something to suppress those feelings.
Right.
And then when the drugs and alcohol came about, so now I can go do that. But at the end of the day, nah. Me, I have to be coaching. So I'm ongoing process.
Right.
Every day, it's just changes, that you go, put the drug down. Now you have to work on that innocence.
Right. All right. Yeah. I understand that as well. Like I said, there was a lot of parallels in our lives, and I have to stay. I'm a pastor now. I have to stay focused on what I do, and
Right.
I wholeheartedly understand where you are, because I tell you, if I wasn't in church, the two things. One of my biggest things was the women, and gambling was the other. And so if I wasn't where I am, I probably would go back to that, love what I do now, and I think that's pretty fantastic as well. Uh, um, so once you got through the recovering stage, how hard was it for you to move on? Like, you looked at your life, you did an assessment of it. I'm sure all of us, but how hard was it for you to pitch yourself forward and go from there? Because that's a stumbling block for some people, because you can recover and they're like, what do I do next? So for you, how hard was it for you to move on?
For me, honestly, I'm not gonna say it's really hard, only for the simple fact, I take it back to my upbringing. You know what I mean? We always had family, I also had a great support, cast, family members. And I used to tell myself that one day I'm going to have this, and I'm not just going to take it over. You know what I mean? I was broke on my life. So it wasn't hard for me to do it because I wanted it. I wanted to do it at my own. And I did this necessary for that I had to do where I'm at. I
Right.
had to show up for me. I can't go wrong. To show up for me or this, that. I was one that I was one that murdered, so I had to deal with my own life. So it was really useful for me because I
Right.
had to decide to do what I was going to do.
Right. Oh, wow. All right. When you look at the results, look at where you are now. I was going to get back to it later, but you ended up with a great job. If you look at your life, and if true to yourself, same thing. If I look at where I came from to where I am, I can't believe I retired twice in 30 years at the Pentagon. I'm like, they trust me to be at the Pentagon. Anyway, but you ended up with a great job, and how, how did you feel to get your current job? You look at your life, and then that passion or that drive that you had in you. What was your feeling when you got this job, when you had the life you had?
I was grateful. You know what? I've always said that I need to have some gratitude with my attitude. So I was very grateful because when I did time, they deserved that then. They paid me a dollar a day.
Mm.
So I was grateful we made a dollar a day. And I sometimes got used to society. I think when I got into this game, I was making $21 an hour.
Wow.
It was a league. I was on the job site.
Right.
Now, I'm still with the same thing. And I'm not all a superintendent. Matter of
Right.
fact, I don't think that I like superintendent on it. $2 million.
Right.
So I came from the bottom. And it's just one way. I'm grateful and thankful that somebody took position on me.
Yeah. I understand that as well. You feel that job changed your life?
Oh, definitely. Financially, but what I'm grateful about this job because they can struggle. You think about you got guys who work hungover, high, and I've been down that road. So I'm able to share my experience, my strength, and my hope with them.
Right.
So, because I meet people all over, so, yes.
Okay, well, that's pretty fantastic to go from, the bottom to the top, and believe it or not, different path than you, but same story. You know what I mean?
Right.
And but if we've been talking about you a lot, and just to home in on the book itself, right? What's one or two highlights, without giving the whole thing away, because we want people to buy this book and read it, but what are two highlights that stand out in your book that you want that people are talking about?
First, like when I first started going to court, and then I would get out, and this was looking read this stuff. They thought I was going to, but then they ended up going. So that's like a read. Go in, go in, and so they were waiting for it. They found out they were going to go back. And that was the key point of the book. The show that don't do the work. You want to know that. That was kind of how to read. And that's what was amazing that I think, because I also, that's it. For me, and one of the chat, while speaking about course in the, it's like it's so little people. And this was what was really all about. It was sharing about all, no matter when you go down, like you pick yourself up and you can be that just as a eat.
Amen. That sounds awesome. So being that you wrote the book, you lived your life and stuff. So you look at this audience that we have. What advice do you want to share with the audience concerning you, your life, or the book itself?
My advice to anyone, first and foremost, there's so much going on out here in the world that, they throw things at us that you thought. There are people still out there suffering from drugs, but no one is doing anything. So if you know that suffering from drugs, that, let them know that they stick their hand out. Because if you never walk in my shoes, you don't know how it is. It's always about anything I can't talk to people. But I don't want to help because it is for me. I help you on me. No. Your best ability is your best.
Right. All right. So well, you said earlier you think you may be a part two to this as well. So
A total different side. So the next book that I'm working on is entitled "In My Eyes, Healing My Heart or My Image." And I found that very necessary for me to do is because of something that I did. See, when I got on the road, I had to go get issues, I had to go get jewelry, suits, the women. I was all in.
right.
All outside services of them. So I wasn't healing from the damage that I caused from myself or people and people or my family. So when I realized it, I said, no, I need to do it. And my mother and my heart, my mind. Because I was so going to say that.
Right.
So now It's about healing. So
Amen.
that next book that may come also is entitled Finding Freedom in Conflict.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely exists. Just a couple comments on put up here is Brian, if you see that, said proud of my cousin. Your nephew, your nephew says, "Hey, I'm proud of you." So not so many questions, but they're making comments for you. Sending love and support to the Neptune from your Neptune family, Ursula. Linda has a question. She said, "What inspired you to?" Where's it at? Hold on one second. There you go. All right. What inspired him? Well, they asked me, what inspired him to write a book? Your book, AWOL from Society.
What inspired me, like I think I said at the beginning, people that I was locked up with, I would always share about my drug addiction, what I was doing, things I was doing out there in the street. And they're like, man, you got a book. That's a book or a movie. And that's where it started. That inspired me to put out the book.
All right. Awesome. I mean, I love it when people can recognize talent and even a story of sorts. And so, pretty awesome. And it's nice, folks to compliment you because a lot of times people don't compliment you, don't tell you did something well or whatever, So when people actually tell you, I think that's them are heights that you can achieve and know they're achievable. But when people can, attest to what you're doing, whether it's relatable or not, I think that's pretty awesome. I always cheer people on because I believe there's hope, whatever. And I don't think one network is where we want to be. We want to be in as many networks as possible. So I push the envelope for pretty much anybody. Ricky said, congratulations, big bro. Leandra she was telling you about we're trying to fix the technical difficulty, so I'm not gonna put that up. And Angela gave you a pretty nice compliment. She said, "Get your book today," and she's complimented the book read. The book read's awesome. It really is, and so and I love it. Like I said, it's an easy read. It's real. It's down to earth. It's impactful. It's you could feel it. You could actually feel it, and believe me. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have him here. It touched me seriously, and I'm glad that I can read other books as well as write them, and I feel that feeling. I love that feeling, that you get when, I get a lot of tears, when I do book signings, people are crying and stuff like that. But I can feel the emotions and it's relatable and the whole 9 yards, and I'm like. It's nothing like it. But I'm reading. I'm starting my next book as well, and then we'll have another author as well. But I try to read the books and then have the people on talk about it and interview and go from there. So hopefully I'll have you back, for the second book as well. No rush because we want to be right. Like my book was supposed to be done this past summer, but I'm not there yet because I'm working on movies and stuff like that. My life is crazy busy, but I'm writing and it's just not moving at the pace that I want it to. So, it is what it is. Got another comment says, Butch says, "Love you, my brother, even though your hard times in life was always talented, undeniably." Wow, that's nice. Love your brother. So he's saying you was out there, but you got talent, and it's hard to keep a good person down. You know what I mean? And so what's meant to come out will, and that's a nice compliment as well. And so I love it. If we as and I don't do black white, but sometimes it's evident. But because of all the different cultures, it's nice to see people of your same look alike on the same page. I think that's pretty dynamic when we can come together and push each other to excel to that next level, and that's what I'm about. And so I meet people all the time. I'm meeting actors. I'm meeting everybody. But if I can help people to get to that next level. That's what I try to do. Even if my shows are stepping stone, then so be it, because it's room for everybody, believe it or not, So it's like this. It's so much money out there. It's enough. Nobody has to kill each other, stop for somebody to be jealous of anyone. Because if you do it, if people like it, they're going to be out there and support it. And so something just happened for me as well, and look for it. I'll be on New York Times Times Square, so I sent that out. And that's coming up for me with Les Brown, and then by myself. So I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, that's a big deal. I'm like, whoa. But I'm excited with this, and I don't think I'm special. But if we do the right things come your way, and I believe that. If you put evil out, evil's coming back. If you put good out, good's coming back. And so since I met you, Shakim, it's been all good. It's like it seemed like we just connected. From the time I met you, from the first interaction. I mean, you just, I could see how it's easy to go left when you have all this talent to go right. You see what I'm saying? But Kay put out here. She said, "Proud of my husband." So it must be your wife as well. So. We love to do, great things. You come a long way, man. And my biggest thing I would tell you is never look back. And so you can look back to remember, but not look back to go back. And so I have this thing on my website saying, looking back to reach back. And so I want to bring people forward, seriously. And in any way possible, and that's what my show about. I'm about down-to-earth stuff, down-to-earth conversations and stuff like that, and I think from here it only gets better. So we go from there. But appreciate all the questions and comments and stuff that came forth, and you never know, we might get something else going on, and we'd be able to check and jive about something else. I try to be as informal as possible. I tell people I'm not the Pentagon anymore. I don't have to punch any clocks. I don't have to do time cards, so I can be relaxed. I can say what I want, pretty much. And so I just want to be able to do that. Someone asked, and we'll put the book back up here because I want people to see it again, and go from there. But give you the shout out. And so here's a book, AWOL from Society, Unchained, Finding Freedom in the Concrete Jungle. And Keith Anderson, so author, but it's on Amazon. And so Shakim, is it somewhere else as well, or Amazon?
That's an Amazon, Gilcreast, Barnes and Noble.
Okay, it's in Barnes and Noble. What do you say, book reads?
Goodreads.
Oh, Goodreads. Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. And so that's awesome. So it's easy to find. If you got a Prime account on Amazon, then the shipping's free, so you don't have to worry about it. Or I know it's on digital as well, and so ebooks, and so you can get it. But I have my own hard copy. So I like hard copies because I have my own library as well, and like to read and stuff like that. So it's there. Take a picture of it. And we go from there. But yeah, much appreciated. Shakim, just hold tight because we have to finish the recording side. But I'm start doing my closeout, and so and go from there. I always tell folks, I said, faith connected to the power words bring forth the reality of God. And so you got to have faith in like everything that we do. Whether you believe there's a supernatural being or not, but you have to believe. That's the bottom line. And and I believe, and I put everything forward. I'm not just pastor. I'm doing a podcast, and I'm dealing with life issues. And I tell people I'm on the front line. This is our church here in Oviedo, Florida, and so we're about hour 15 minutes from Tampa. I live in Apaka, so we're like 35 minutes from Apaka and 20 minutes from Orlando. And so that's our church information. Take a picture of it, if you like, but I always put this out there. I always, I do pretty much the same thing all the time because I want people to know who I am, not just a podcaster. I'm also a pastor. I'm an author, a motivational speaker. I mean, I have so many things in front of me. And so we're limited, only where your mind stops you. And so if your mind can expand, you could do achieve unimaginable things and achieve some of the greatest things you ever, took on. So I'm a proponent of that. People try to, and Keith, you've probably seen this too, but people try to discourage you and saying, you're good where you are. People try to stop what you're doing. I retired twice. Some guys, even pastors, be like, "Man, you got 2 retirements. What else you doing?" I say, "But I got 4 checks. But I got a vision. I got a goal that I want to achieve." But I ask people, I say, "Why they count my money?" You ever get people do that? Why you count your money? And so nobody tells Donald Trump or the Rockefellers or Elon Musk, "You made too much money." But it seems like sometimes you feel like, and I'm just speaking, when you achieve certain things or you're certain cultures and stuff, people want to stop you there. But where you have vision, the best can happen. Even what the Bible says, without a vision, the people perish. And so you have to dream to see, and sometimes it costs money to bring the vision to pass. And so I'm saying, be encouraged and stuff like that as we go forth. We closing to the end and go from there. But much appreciate for you coming on the show, Keith, or Keith Shakim, and so much appreciate. I have a nephew named Keith as well, so just so you know, that's why it comes out. But yeah, but I'm glad you came on. I'm glad you being real and stuff like that. But seriously, and just we might be able to get something down the line. Just do real talk and let people come on and even if I get a group of people, I don't mind, and just talk about life because we need to hear it. I love to get just people just want to do real talk and say to put out, because it's challenges that we have to meet out there. I've been in corporate America 43 years. I'm in government 43 years in total time, military and civilian. So I've seen a lot. I've sat in Colin Powell's chair at the Pentagon. I've interviewed to work for LeBron James. So I'm not just some little joke that's coming out in China, whatever. I'm actually giving back to society. And that you were AWOL from. You were missing it. But we all have something to give to society. And if we just, put our minds and thoughts together, I think we could achieve greatness, so forth, so on. So I'll hold tight.
God, you taught me to trust you. You showed me how to believe. You're the author and the finisher of what you started me. So I'm not gonna doubt it. I'm gonna hold on to peace. 'Cause if I have you and nothing else, I still.
All right, it's just me and you now. We're off live.